the one,
And
Friday,
dunks.
the one before that also.
Yep,
He
game
went
4 was great
40
too.
and then 35.
It was really funny, man. Like all this talk about who's going to be the MVP, LeBron or Anthony Davis. Like I really thought Jimmy Butler was very clearly the second best player in that series. He was fantastic for his team,
Well,
especially with especially but no, everybody said the consensus was going to be it was LeBron, AD, and then the rest of the Heat guys, and Jimmy showed himself. Jimmy showed himself to be, I think, the second best player in that series. Like I thought that if that was LeBron doing the same thing with the same circumstances, people would be fawning over it a lot more.
Well, he
naturally
did. He did, and
people were saying he should have been Finals MVP in the finals that he lost.
It's only happened once.
I understand. I'm just, but like Jimmy Butler showed out as a superstar in this finals.
Just for context
you know
about that LeBron finals, I know this means nothing. It's an ESPY award, but he won best championship performance for the ESPYs, even though his team lost in the finals. That's how much people thought about it.
I do remember that, actually. I remember that.
I would say what Jimmy showed the rest of the country was that he could score. But to us, we already knew that he was capable of doing whatever it takes to help his team win. And if it meant scoring, then it was scoring. So because everybody else, and this only happens everywhere else except in this organization, where your input on a game is only determined by rebounds, points, and assists, and steals, and blocks. And Spo has spoiled us, or has trained us a long time ago to say, hey, this guy impacts winning. Stop looking at the box score to determine how much of an impact he had. Tried to do it with Justice Winslow.
Can you give me I know they didn't win the championship, but I mean pretty good showing. Like can I get one little goat sound?
No.
Come on, bro.
No.
Come on, like a consent, like
No.
a.
And by the way,
consolation.
By the way, I am insulted that people were hitting me up after 2 wins. I had the GOAT thing ready to go.
Well, then just make it sure. You
All
said
right.
2 wins. You get the goat onesie in there.
Right.
It's in there. I'm proud.
Last
of you.
night, Amazon said, still thinking about it? No, Amazon, you can remove that GOAT onesie out of my cart.
Damn, the goat onesie was expensive. I wasn't expecting that.
No, $49.
I was expecting. I thought that was a lot.
Really? For a full grown ass
Full goat
man
onesie? Yeah.
suit?
I think so.
It never, by the way, it never looks like the photo.
No, definitely not.
I'm telling that photo looked like it was almost a mascot costume. That's not what you get. And they put it in that little bag. So when you get that little bag, you go, there ain't no way in hell this gonna look like that picture.
Texter writes in, guys, please mention, why do we keep giving the ball to Crowder? He was so horrible this series. He killed us.
Here, it's one of those things, guys, for the same reason why Rondo kept getting the 3-point shot. Pick your poison.
Yep.
And let's be clear. Could the Lakers deal with Crowder shooting 10 to 15 three-pointers when it meant that Duncan Robinson wasn't going to be shooting them?
Yeah, you would take
Absolutely.
that all day.
That's what you do.
All day.
So, and the Heat are going to tell him to shoot that.
And he helped get the Heat to this point.
Right.
He was great on this run. I know, like he's not Jay Crowder. Sorry, he's not Duncan Robinson as a shooter, but
what were their percentages for the series? Did the Lakers continue to outshoot them? Because I think the Heat caught up.
Let me go look. I'd have to go find out. I don't know what it ended up being for the series. But another text writes in, Toba, my pants are up to my neck. Give me some hope of a whale, anything to get my pants off. I mean, listen, the thing that you have to realize is Riley's harpoons have never been sharper. All right. The orcas, they're circling the oceans, and they're liking what they're seeing down in Biscayne Bay. All right. But, there's going to be plenty of time for the chase. We got all that stuff coming. I'm sure Riley's going to be thinking about this and thinking about what the differences could have been. I'm sure there's going to be determinations about, what moves they'll want to make, and I'm sure there's going to be somebody disgruntled that would like to get down here and be that final piece. But this year was special, man. Like this group of guys was special. It was a really, really fun team that had an amazing chemistry that was very clear all year, and I just think that should really be appreciated today, because this was one of the most incredible Heat seasons I can ever remember, even if it doesn't end in a championship. Jimmy Butler was fantastic. The year Goran had was unbelievable. The growth that you saw from your young guys was tremendous. It was tremendous seeing what you saw guys like Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Bam do on the big stage. And people may stick with what your final lasting image was of Game 6, but man, you don't take all of the fun that you had along the way. The Eastern Conference Finals, the Bucks series where they're shutting Giannis's ass down.
Give it a minute. You get 24 to 48 hours to mourn, and then you go back to appreciate. Right?
I'm appreciating now.
It's okay to be sad that your team lost. It's okay to be.
I want to just go find Goran Dragic and give him a cup of cocoa or something.
Yeah. Give him a thumbs up for the A for effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got Tobin.
Yep.
I just saw a list that's going to make you furious.
Oh,
What?
boy.
So ESPN has come out with the way too early power rankings for next year. Now, obviously, you got the Lakers at number 1.
Yep.
You're wondering where the Miami Heat are. They're probably not going to be 2, but they'll be at least 3, 4, or 5, right?
Yeah, one would think.
Ninth in way too early power rankings.
Who's ahead of them?
Oh, my God. Number 8. You're going to lose it. Number 8. The Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, my. I almost cursed.
He almost did.
I almost cursed. Are you effing kidding me?
Wait.
Are you effing kidding me?
They were in the finals. Who cares?
Because, what is this slap in the face nonsense? The Sixers?
Slap in the face already?
Are you idiots still going to believe in Joel Embiid? Really? After all this? Jimmy Butler, 2 35-point triple-doubles, and you still think that Joel Embiid's that dude?
Well, now, I need to hear the rest of the list.
All right, so number 1's the Lakers, obviously. Number 2, the Clippers. 3.
Why not the Warriors?
What a bunch of winners.
3, the Bucks. 4, the Nuggets.
How? The Heat beat that ass with a monocle in their eye. How? How could you have the number 3? The Heat beat him in 5 games. Doesn't even make sense. It's not like the Heat have a bunch of old guys. They beat him with a teenager. Who else is on the list? Who's 4?
4, Denver. 5, Dallas Mavericks.
Denver? They got 1 game against the Lakers. 1.
They did the 3-1.
The best player's fat.
They did the 3-1 thing twice. Dallas, Golden State. 7.
Dallas?
We're done in the first round.
Dallas? Oh, my God. Put more stock in this Western Conference, please.
6, Warriors. 7.
Hey, am I crazy, or did he get more wins than any team out west against the Lakers?
True. I listen to number 7, the Boston Celtics.
Oh, my God.
I'm surprised.
Hey, if you ever want to troll Tobin, just put out a list.
I'm surprised the Heat finished above number 10, Brooklyn Nets. I thought they would. I thought with the way this.
I thought for sure. Yeah, I was like, all right, the Nets going to be on the list. All right, guys, Kevin Durant. How could you? I don't understand. Did they All right, whatever, man. This is what I'm talking about. See, Leroy, though, this is what I'm talking about when I say you think I make this stuff up. You think that I make this stuff up, and I don't. The disrespect is real.
Here. Who gives a rat's
I do.
ass?
I give a rat's ass.
The Heat were just in the finals.
Yeah, and it's like it never happened. Like it was a mistake.
Here. You know the great thing about lists? You can prove it. You can prove it otherwise.
You know who wrote the piece on the Heat's portion?
Nick Friedel.
The biggest.
He really did?
Yes.
Yeah, Jimmy, Taj Gibson, Tibbs, what do you think they'd say to you? You've had a lot of heartache, obviously, 2014 Eastern Conference semifinals, losing to the Heat with Taj Gibson. Your thoughts?
All right, we'll take a quick break.
I love the way that is the biggest cop-out move. Give me your thoughts on the win.
You want the description of Nick Friedel's write-up of the Heat for why they're number 9?
Sure.
Yes.
The biggest question surrounding the Heat is if they could duplicate the success they had in the bubble in a normal basketball world.
Okay. Yeah. Really?
Miami's future appears to be very bright with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo leading a young core. But will they be able to convince another star to join them in South Beach? If they do, there's no reason to believe the Heat can make another finals run next season.
So it's like
So he put him 9th, but then tell him they can be back in the finals.
Because why? Because it's such a because they got to go to the. So let me get this straight. The Heat are 9th because you don't believe they could win those games in the Garden, in TD Garden,
or Philadelphia,
or in Milwaukee. You jokers.
Dallas Mavericks.
How about they come down here and win? How about that? Jesus Christ. Anyway, Leroy, you ready to get into 4-down territory, man?
Yep.
Break from this idiot, morons. Ready to fight somebody. No, maybe
Somebody said, "Come on, Leroy. We're not here for pragmatism this morning. We're here to listen to Tobin's silly sauce." Well, if that's what you're here for, good job, because he is spewing it all over the place.
What's the sauce that I'm spewing this morning that's so silly?
What?
What's so silly? What have I said that's so silly today?
What?
You got nothing.
All right. You haven't been spewing the silly sauce.
What have I been spewing that's so silly?
I think it's probably more petty.
I don't even think I've been petty.
Okay.
I mean, like, people want to be like, oh, like as a texter's like, oh, how about LeBron not like congratulating the Heat? I'm like, I don't care about that. LeBron doesn't have to, LeBron doesn't have to congratulate the Heat. I don't care about that. I'm laughing at Dion Waiters. I mean, who's not? Everyone's laughing at him. He played no minutes. 0.0. Champ cheese. I don't even want to put that much energy into it, though, because he's Dion Waiters. Dude tripped on gummy bears on the airplane.
But that's what I said about the list.
No,
Why
the list
you put so much effort into it?
Because
you just played in the finals.
Because it's stupid.
Who cares if you're 10th?
Leroy, how can you write a basketball list, okay, of power rankings? How can you say the defending Eastern Conference champions are behind a team that got swept in the playoffs because they added Doc Rivers, who just led the team this past year to the biggest disappointment in the playoffs? How is he an X factor? Explain it to me. I want to know, Friedel. If you could take your lips off a Taj Gibson picture for 3 seconds, how about you and Bontemps explain to me how the rankings are what they are? Explain to me how Milwaukee is supposed to be a better team than the Heat next year when all of their players around Giannis are getting older and the Heat's core is young. Explain it to me. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Pragmaticism is not a word. I was just reading a text.
Dallas Mavericks.
And look, Robbie, that's what I like. You guys feed off of one another because you start going, you get mad, and then he just yells, Dallas Mavericks.
They were number 5.
You try to get those charcoals nice and hot, Robbie. You got a barbecue.
You know what? At least with the Dallas Mavericks, at least I could say, okay, we think Luka's going to be a superstar. We think that he'll take a huge vault. But I'm not going to sit here and allow without any window to the Sixers or the Bucks getting better. All right, just as they stand right now, I'll hear you out that you think Luka's going to take them to a next level. I'll hear you out. I don't agree with it, but I'll hear you out. But to say that on its face that the Heat are below in any rankings, below any Eastern Conference team, is, Leroy, it is one word: stupid. It is stupid.
Celtics.
Who cares? You know why? Because every year you play a season and a playoffs, right? That gets you to determine who's best and who's not. And this year in the East, the Heat were the best. And in the West, the Lakers were the best. And they played for all the marbles, as you would put it. I'm tired of hearing about the damn Clippers.
Number 2.
You had your chance.
Number 2.
Say, I wanted to see Clippers and Lakers, except you weren't good enough.
Right. No,
Not
number 2
my
on the
problem.
list. Number 2 on the
Not
list.
my problem. Now, keep in mind, guess what? I lived through the same thing. I was the damn Clippers. Expected to get to a certain point. I didn't blame it on the damn Falcons.
Did you blame it on the bubble?
No. No.
Oh, we'll
When you are the best team, what determines who is the best team is in those moments of crisis, in those moments where you have to establish yourself as the best team, you come through. And if you don't, then questions can be made. Maybe you never were the best team. So for the Clippers, if you're up 3-1 and then you lose 3 straight games, there is no way in hell you can be considered better than the other team.
Believer, like how, like 9th out of, what are we talking, 16 playoff teams? You're talking that the Heat are a middle of the pack team.
No, I don't care.
I do.
I don't.
What kind of
why?
slap in the face is that?
Why? Because every time the Miami Heat suit up to play a basketball game, do you ever have a doubt that they can win?
No.
The end of discussion then.
Not the end of discussion.
It is.
I can't let that go. I don't let this stuff slide.
It is.
How can we watch what we watched over the last 3 months and you say that's a middle of the pack team?
I can't. I just told you I can't. Who cares what some guy outside of here is writing about your team?
I bet if the
He
Heat
doesn't
side,
know.
I bet if the Heat side Taj Gibson, you make that ranking higher, Friedel.
Like, man, don't worry about it. Like, don't get worked up. We just finished a month of making fun of him. And now you're going to take something he writes seriously? Get the hell out of here.
Back after this.